Hello everyone. Today's topic is how Buddhism influenced Japanese people's response to the Noto Peninsula earthquake and Haneda airport crash. Dreadful news struck Japan twofold at the beginning of 2024 with the Noto Peninsula earthquake on January 1st and the Haneda airport crash the next day. I myself was in Niigata Prefecture on the 1st and it shook a lot there. I returned to Tokyo from the Hokuriku area late at night on the 3rd, but as of the 5th, Hokuriku is still suffering aftershocks. In the cold weather, some places still have no electricity or water and some are still closed to traffic. So many people are struggling, including my own friends. I can only hope everything's restored soon. Once again, we're shown just how disaster-prone Japan is. At the same time, people outside of Japan have been amazed at Japanese people's dignified behavior in the face of disaster. Today, I'd like to talk about the Buddhist philosophy that underlies the way Japanese people responded to these situations. I will talk about these two things. 1. The impermanence of all things. 2. Iroha, the Japanese ABCs. Earthquakes frequently strike the Isles of Japan. Japan lies on 4 different tectonic plates, so is situated in a very dangerous place. As a result, about 20% of the world's earthquakes of magnitude 6 or higher occur in Japan. Out of all the hundreds of countries in the world, 20% of the strongest earthquakes occur in Japan. This really shows how prone to earthquakes Japan is. And it's not only earthquakes. Being surrounded by the sea, Japan faces tsunamis. As a mountainous country, it has volcanoes too. Japan also suffers many typhoons. Additionally, many Japanese houses are made of wood, which makes fires catastrophic. So, Japan has long been highly susceptible to natural disasters. This is precisely why Japanese people have deeply internalized the Buddhist teachings that all is impermanent and this world is as unstable as a burning house. The teaching that all is impermanent is essential for understanding Buddhist thought. All is impermanent means that nothing lasts. Everything in this world is constantly undergoing change. This world is as unstable as a burning house means we never know what might happen or when. Sakyamuni Buddha taught that the world we live in is one that may be engulfed in flames at any moment. It is fleeting and unstable, utterly impermanent, and anything could happen at any time. We Japanese people live in a place of impermanence that brings us a keen awareness of how true this teaching is. There is a poem that urges us to see the impermanence of all things clearly. What are you so shocked at? It is taught that all things are impermanent. When a big disaster strikes, bringing destruction in its wake, we have a tendency to be shocked and sad and panicked. However, this poem tells us nothing in this world lasts. Have we not been constantly hearing this from Sakyamuni Buddha? Things have happened in exact accordance with what we've always been taught. So what are you so shocked at? All that has form is sure to crumble. Such is the impermanence of this world, and that's all that's happened. We have a habit of thinking that this sort of thing shouldn't have happened and falling into panic and despair, but Buddhism teaches us clearly this world has always been unstable. Everything in it is constantly changing. This poem reminds us that if we were really listening to Buddha, incidents like this wouldn't be a shock to us. Japanese people have long had many chances in our everyday lives to experience this world's impermanence. We learn that what we choose to do in the face of this instability is very important. Buddhism prompts us to think about how we should live and why we live in this world of impermanence. Our ancestors had to contend with earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions time and time again. Whenever disaster struck, showing them the truth of Buddhist teaching on impermanence, Japanese people would overcome the ensuing bewilderment and pain by supporting each other in the Buddhist spirit of giving. I myself saw how those affected by the disasters in January came together to help each other and focus on repairing things. I too helped out with cleanup efforts and very much felt that spirit of giving and how everyone supported each other in this crisis. The day after the earthquake, there was a collision at Haneda Airport. By some miracle, all of the 300 or 400 passengers and crew on the Airbus escaped the plane within 18 minutes without fatalities. Many people expressed amazement at this, including people from outside Japan. The plane caught fire as soon as it landed, and it was filled with heat and smoke. Some passengers recorded videos on their phones. Blazing flames were visible through the windows, while visibility inside was low due to the smoke. Apparently, many passengers thought they were done for. However, the crew had received regular intensive training for precisely this kind of situation. Apparently, most accidents occur within the 3 minutes after takeoff or the 8 minutes before landing, called the critical 11 minutes. Thanks to repeated training, the crew were able to deal calmly with the emergency, telling the passengers to stay calm and that they'd be fine. It was, as a result of this, that all the nearly 400 people on the plane escaped safely. Ordinarily, it wouldn't have been a surprise if people made a mad rush for the exit and fell down like dominoes. It also wouldn't have been a surprise for the aisles to get blocked with people trying to get their hand luggage, which would have delayed everyone's escape. And yet, despite the frightening situation, everyone followed the rules and reassured each other, which allowed all the nearly 400 people to escape. It was a surprising testament to the best of Japanese culture, and people from other countries have expressed astonishment over it. Truly, the way Japanese people respond to times of emergency and disaster is a virtue. It's something that people in other countries praise Japanese people for after the 2011 Great East Japan Earthquake too. I was in Kinshicho, Tokyo at the time, and since the cars and trains all stopped, I had to walk the 2-hour journey back to my home in Shinjuku. I was so relieved to finally get home. But on my way, I saw various things that deeply moved me, so I wrote about this on my mailing list and blog the next day. This is the entry as I wrote it. Yesterday, I walked from Kinshicho to Waseda, and on my way, I saw various things that warmed my heart. One high school girl was about to be driven home by her father, and she was encouraging an elderly person going the same direction to get in too. A bar in Adidabashi put up a sign saying they'd be open only for use of toilets just for today, and many people were going in and out. One shop had copies of a map showing the current location laid out on a desk to take for free. Then once I got home, I saw people encouraging each other on various news programs. In one supermarket, where the products had fallen all over the floor, people were still queuing for and paying for their food despite the opportunity to steal it. One elderly person gave up their seat for a pregnant woman on a crowded train. A male cafe worker gave a blanket to a skirted woman whose legs he thought might be cold. People in Chubu and Kyushu had their local power companies supply electricity to prevent hospitals from running out when East Japan's own supply ran low. Internet provider LiveDoor offered free Wi-Fi, and shops at Disneyland were giving out sweets. Overseas news reports have been expressing surprise and admiration at how Japanese people have been staying calm and helping each other instead of panicking after such a huge earthquake. Cooperation has always been a fundamental part of our culture. This is what I posted to my mailing list. Even overseas, people were taking notice of Japanese people's unique disposition towards helping each other, which stems from our awareness, gained from experience, that all is impermanent and you never know what might happen and when. Truly, Japan is a place that makes one keenly aware what an unstable world this is. Times like these really highlight our ability to support each other in a crisis. For Japanese people, The Buddhist philosophy that comes from acknowledging impermanence provides us with great comfort, so we have long cherished it. There is a poem that expresses this called the Iroha. The Iroha goes like this in Japanese.
Iroha ni hoe to chirinuru o wakayotare so tsune naramu ui no okuyama ke fukoete asaki yume mishi ehimosesu.
The modern Japanese alphabet goes a, I, U, A, O, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, but the Iroha poem is an ancient alphabet that contains every sound in the Japanese language once. It's long been the first thing that Japanese children learn. So, it's often said that every Japanese person knows the Iroha. Because of this, the word Iroha has come to mean the basics ABCs or 101, so Japanese people might say, for instance, that's the Iroha of computing, or that's the Iroha of economic. So, the Iroha is the universally known basics in Japan. Now, this basics Iroha poem actually conveys the Buddhist concept of impermanence and prompts us to consider what is really important in this fleeting world. Let's go through its meaning. Flowers are beautiful, yet will eventually scatter. In our world, who will exist forever? Today we cross the mountain recesses of transience, neither having superficial dreams nor being intoxicated. First of all, the flowers referred to here are cherry blossoms. So the first line says, when in full bloom, the cherry blossoms look glorious, but they too will eventually fall off the trees. It expresses the impermanence of this world through the image of cherry blossoms. It tells us all things are constantly changing. Just as even the most beautiful cherry blossoms soon scatter, all things are impermanent. Then the next line asks, in this world that we think of as ours, is there anyone who will be around forever? Buddhism teaches this as the prosperous must decline. In this world, we cherish money, status, our houses, fortune, and other possessions as our own. Yet will we or any of these things last forever? Has anyone ever prospered perpetually? Nothing has ever belonged to anyone forever. Even those who have everything must lose it all. However much a person may be thought of as wealthy or affluent, no one will be that way forever. All things are impermanent, so all the things that are precious to us must also perish. Nothing and no one in this world is around forever. So in such a fleeting world, what is it that is truly important? The next two lines answer this question. Today we cross the mountain recesses of transience, neither having superficial dreams nor being intoxicated. What does this mean? Well, Buddhism teaches that there are three kinds of rich people, and these are people who are rich in house, people who are rich in body, people who are rich in mind. The first one, people who are rich in house, means people who have a lot of wealth, possessions, status, etc. The next one, people who are rich in body, means healthy people. It is taught that having good health is more important than having money, possessions, and other such things, so it's better to be rich in body than in house. Even so, all is impermanent, and in this fleeting world, even our bodies must eventually perish. Therefore, no matter how well we take care of our health, we must still fall ill and die. So we cannot remain rich in body forever either. Someday that kind of wealth will be torn away from us too. Therefore, Buddhism teaches we must become rich in mind. In the Iroha poem, the final two lines are representative of being rich in mind. Today we cross the mountain recesses of transience, neither having superficial dreams nor being intoxicated. This is saying there will come a time when you rejoice at having transcended a life of suffering and torment and found true happiness. That isn't some kind of dreamlike state, and nor is it being drunk. You too can gain the indestructible joy of having seen the truth of this world's impermanence clearly. It's available to you now while you're still alive. It doesn't say we'll cross the mountain recesses of transience when we die, does it? It says we'll do it today. That means we can attain true happiness in the now. It's not a dreamlike state, and it's not like being drunk or high either. It is true, heartfelt happiness. That's what this poem tells us. Master Shinran also made clear that this is a fleeting world of impermanence where we never know what might happen or when. In this world, as fleeting and unstable as a burning house, all is idleness and foolishness, utterly devoid of truth. There is nothing in this world that is true or reliable. All the things that we think bring us happiness, without exception, are hollow and untrustworthy. In such a fleeting world, the one thing that can lead us to eternally unchanging richness of mind is Buddhism. This is what Master Shinran taught. So, this Buddhist philosophy is very important to Japanese people. Japanese people have long treasured the Buddhist teaching that in this fleeting and changeable world, what's far more important than cherishing things that won't last anyway is attaining true richness of mind. That's why this teaching is even in the Iroha, the most basics of basics to us. Today I talked about the impermanence of this world that was shown to us through the tragedies that struck Japan on the very first day of 2024, and what it is that Buddhism teaches on impermanence. I hope that we Japanese people will continue to treasure the Buddhist philosophy that's so deeply ingrained in our hearts. Thank you for watching today's video.